Welcome to Blog Authors, the Lydia section. Today I'm going to be talking about my published book, which is Forbidden Dance, and what really inspired me to write this book. Specifically, it's set in the 1980s, specifically 83. And as you can see right here, it's got a little ballerina silhouette in it. And it is a ballet love sporting chance novella. A lot of people will think that ballet is actually not a sport. However, I am here to prove you wrong. One ballet performance is the equivalent of playing 2 back-to-back football games or running 18 miles. How do I know this? 1, I did my research. 2, I was actually in ballet. From the time I was 12 until I was 14, when I had a knee injury in this knee, made it so that I could no longer dance. Sadly, I never even got to be on toe shoes, but I had actually at ballerinas that I knew about all their information on toe shoes, and they would wear out 2 to 3 pairs of toe shoes per week, and that was just rehearsals, their normal exercise in order to work out. Not to mention, it takes about 90 hours of labor just to make a ballet tutu, as well as about 900 yards of tulle, which gives it that nice fluffy feeling. Now, when I did ballet, I actually knew someone from the New York City Ballet, and she came with her boyfriend, who was also the owner of my ballet studio's son, to dance the parts of Sleeping Beauty and Prince Charming. As a 14-year-old, I was in the prince's entourage, and how it was put was just stare at the prince dreamily while he's dancing. Okay, it was hard not to stare at his butt. The no underwear was for line's sake, because it was professional. It was in front of 5,000 people, which for me as an introvert was just not my thing. Now, the name for the story, Forbidden Dance, actually came from one of my favorite mangas, Forbidden Dance, by Hinako Ashihara, I guess is how you say it. Her last name was actually taken from a very nice chick, one of the people in there. Her name is Diana Roberts. April was actually taken from the movie/Broadway play Rent, which is one of my favorite ones. For those of you who don't know what Rent is, I do suggest watching it. It is set in 1989, which is the year I was born, and it deals with New York City and all the trauma that was going on there with the turn of the century, the drug craze, and everything else. And the first line in this book is actually a reference to Santa Fe. The first line in the book is, "New York City, center of the universe. Times are hard." In January of 83, but I'm pretty sure they can't get any worse. And that's a reference to the song Santa Fe, which is in Rent, and I'll include a link for that below. Why did I choose ballet? Because ballet is actually pretty fascinating, especially with contests. And the reason why I said it in the 80s, and I'm not going to get too much into it because you can buy this book online, is because of the drug craze that was popping up all over New York City. Now, I'll let you know, I did do a lot of research on the 80s, along with what they wore, what they listened to, a lot of things that a lot of people would just miss. And the reason why I knew how to do that much research was actually because of a writers forum I was part of. It was a contest called Scenes of Time in Memoriam, and they give you like a 2-page Word document of questions to ask the author. What time frame is it in? What are you doing? What is their jobs? What's the royalty like? What's this like? What's that like? Da, 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 da. And I spent about, I'm going to say, a total of 27 hours doing research just on the Renaissance period. And I used that same amount of research to do research on the 1980s. As for what's coming up next for me, my supernatural book called Trigger, which is set in 12/21/12, an alternate universe where the Mayans became vampires. The other thing that's coming up next for me is Let Me Be Your Teddy Bear, which is part of the Love Me Tender novella series, which is coming out next year. Join me next week. I'll talk about Confessions of Being a Sellout, and that's actually poking fun at someone who called romance writers selling out, so that you can see how I feel towards this. Bye. Welcome to Bloffer. It's the same as two footballs as. Hang on a sec, you can stay right there. And in New York is because of the drug craze. Thank you, Sweetie Belle. It's good. Have a picture of Minnie. Stop it. Woo. Dick. Let me just drop the camera.